changing it. I can't think of anything that quickly. Music. Oh, hi there. Happy Monday. It's February 17th, 2020, and I'm Eric, talking at you once again from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, where this Valentine's Day I learned that the Pope was born on April 16th. That makes him an Aries. Jesus, as everybody knows, is a Capricorn. Therefore, the Pope and Jesus are completely incompatible.
Wow. Wow.
That's just science.
Oh, that's something.
Happy Family Day, Canadians. I know everybody spent it with their family as the Pope and Jesus intended.
Yeah.
I actually did. I was with my mom all day, and we only fought like 17 times. It was nice.
Oh, that's good.
Hi to the boys at Thor's Kin over there across the pond. I hope your trains are running well. Hi to Mike and the boys at Pitlane Parley. Horribly tragic day at the Daytona 500 today, and the jury's still out on Mr. Newman and whether he is alive or not. So we'll see. Kind of bittersweet for the dude who won, because he won in the wake of a horrible, terrible crash which possibly killed somebody. So
yeah,
not
but
the
a
way
big
you want to
win.
win.
No, but a huge win for Hamlin as it was anyways. That was his third Daytona 500 win. So that's a huge thing as it is.
Second in a row. And the second closest Daytona 500 in history. But nevertheless, you don't want to win with that hanging over you. It kind of sucks. So I hope Mike and the boys are all doing okay at Pitlane Parley. Listen to their shows when you're not listening to ours. They're good. And when you're done listening, head over to Apple Podcasts. Give us, or Podchaser, or Chartable, or Audio Burst, or any of the fantastic sites where you can leave us a star rating and a review. It's very much appreciated. And Canadians, tell your friends and family to check us out, because we still have yet to stray beyond the 5 provinces we're always in. And that's kind of disappointing to me. But numbers are still climbing as always and looking really good. So thanks everybody for listening. That's about it for now. Gord, how you doing, buddy?
Doing okay. Yeah, family day. Spent the day with my mom. Had dinner with her tonight, which is kind of nice. And yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my day. I haven't done a whole lot today. It's a very truly stress-free day for me, which is kind of nice.
No, I'm not talking about it because it's really going to get in trouble.
I love that quote. You don't get to hear me play that quote, but
what's that?
It's a quote of you saying, "You're not allowed to talk about it because we're going to get in trouble."
I still can't think of why I would ever say that.
I don't know, but it's a great quote, and I've got it here, and I play it often, but you don't get to hear them. So, welcome everybody. It has been a interesting weekend. The country has been completely derailed by
Good
protesters that are protesting any number of things that have nothing to do with the pipeline that has started the whole kerfuffle. It's gotten absolutely ridiculous. It's very highly organized across the country, and has completely lost perspective. It's got nothing to do with the pipeline in northern BC. Protesters in like Winnipeg and Regina. The protesters in Winnipeg, they're protesting their whatever minister of native rights for failing to fulfill commitments or taking too long to make commitments. It's like it's got nothing to do with the pipeline. They're just pissed off about anything they can come up with. And the ones in Ontario, they're flying Oka flags and all kinds of stupid shit. It's just gotten absolutely ridiculous.
And our amazing Prime Minister has vowed to do nothing.
He has not. He canceled his trip to Barbados and said he will meet with the protesters and see what he can come up with. He had to come back. He had to do something. Everyone in the country saying do something. He had to finally say he would. Especially when he's just traveling the country trying to get this fucking Security Council seat that nobody in Canada gives a crap about. I don't see why at this point we can't just say get back to work. And like the courts have all passed injunctions saying you can shut these protests down, you can take them down, you can stop them, and nobody seems to be willing to do anything about it. I don't get it. Like I'm all for our legal right to protest, but I'm also for their legal right to stop it and get the country going again.
When there's a point to the protest, absolutely. Like when there's a definitive point, like an actual reason for the protest, absolutely. But when you have people that aren't even part of the group that you're claiming to be protesting for, they're doing the protesting, and face it, if you're protesting a pipeline, then what are you doing shutting down trains?
Exactly.
You've lost all semblance of what this actually means. And the problem is when people pull bullshit like this, I know for a fact it won't happen in Canada because nobody in this country has any balls to pull this off. But what would happen if this was going on in the States is what would happen is you'd end up you could end up losing the right to freely protest.
Oh, absolutely.
You could end up having to cut through red tape bullshit in order to get through it, in order to do a proper protest, which I'm starting to think is a better idea now because I don't know. You can't just have people who are just show up to create a mess for no legit reason. Do it under the guise of one thing, and I just no. I'm sorry. It's got to stop and change.
I have to tread lightly when I talk about this, but the difference between hereditary chiefs and elected chiefs has caused nothing but fucking problems in this province. It's always a constant issue because the hereditary chiefs are the chiefs from forever ago, but they're not elected by the people in the village, and they have very little say over what happens. The elected chiefs have all the power, and they speak on behalf of the people who elected them. These hereditary chiefs, they don't have any authority other than like this old world claim to shit. And they're just fighting on behalf of fighting. Like they have no real stake in the game. They just want to fight the government because that's what they know to do, and that's what they do. And it's fucking, yeah, it's just ridiculous. When the people are suffering and the people of the villages are saying they want the pipeline, they all signed on to the pipeline. They agreed to it years ago. And these hereditary chiefs are now, whether they even have anything to do with it, I don't know anymore. It's, from everything I can see, it's just professional protesters and people from other provinces making a stink over something.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I
don't know. I don't like it. I don't like anything that stops our country from progressing. And if Trudeau's beard isn't going to stand up and do something about it, someone has to. Before this thing just gets militant, which I guess would be the next step where we're going to have to start fighting people.
Yeah, I guess.
Because just shutting down the economy, that's... What are you hoping to prove? Really, what do? You shut down the country, and then you're going to be the next one's whining. Because where are our priorities going to be once everything's up and running again? They're not going to be to the people up north who started this shit, that's for sure. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. It just pisses me off. Let the country do its job. Let everyone get to work. Let everyone get the resources they need to get, and just fucking get over it. I don't know. I don't know what I could say. I want to tread lightly. I don't want to seem like I'm insensitive to the plight of the First Nations communities, because I'm definitely not. But this doesn't seem to have anything to do with that anymore.
No, and I don't give a shit about being sensitive to it or not, just because it's gone to the point of, again, if you're going to sit there and if you look at the differences between what it looks like when a pipeline runs through a province or an area or a chunk of land in comparison to any other option, the pipeline looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that the worry, if the worry is simply you're going to come through our land, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, like, I mean, you got people who are paying in towns full property values for a thing, and the towns keep coming up and cutting back areas and putting in, sidewalks and putting in things like this or whatever else, and they keep cutting in the land, but you don't get discounts on your property taxes. You motherfuckers don't have to pay for that shit, so shut the fuck up and quit bitching.
Pretty much.
The chunk of land sitting in the middle of fucking nowhere that within 2 years of everything being said and done, it's all going to be fucking buried. You're never going to see it's there. It's gone anyways. It's just a piece of flat fucking land the way it was before they started. So your complaint is null and void, and I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing it, because you're talking out of both sides of your fucking ass. One side is you just want to be a part of, you just want to be basically accepted as a normal form of society and be left alone. But the same right, you want what? All the fucking land being given back to you? See, it doesn't work under both things. So shut the fuck up. Either be a part of society, or you know what? Fuck off.
And let's not
get
over the fact that this winter, something like, I believe the statistic is 94% of all the energy in the country was oil produced.
Man.
So if you didn't freeze to death this winter, that's because of oil, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
94% of all the power was generated by petroleum. So we're all alive because of oil, whether you like it or not. Even the people up north, who I seem to see a lot of vehicles coming in and out of these protests. I didn't see anybody on dog sled coming from the States up to protest.
And have you seen any of the pictures of what it looks like after these protesters move from a certain area? Have you seen the amount of garbage these people leave?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not there for the environment. Do not lie.
They're not. That's the part that bugs me. Stop lying. You're not there for the environment. You're there to protest things. And like Gord said the other day, the one person said, they're just here to shut down Canada.
Yeah. You're just there to cause a disturbance. Nothing else. You have no other goals in life.
That makes you no better than the Stanley Cup rioters, in my opinion.
That's right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So, just fucking leave my country alone. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of talking about it. There's so much other stuff we should be worried about.
I'd say I hope you all get the coronavirus, but that's just not bad enough for you motherfuckers, so fuck you.
Well, since Gord brought it up, our favorite virus, which every health organization is now saying is not as bad as SARS, but a completely unsubstantiated report, but 2 employees of a laboratory have come forward saying that they were working on the coronavirus and they left with bites from these bats that are not native to the Wuhan province. the bats that the virus came from, but two,